No DQ Galaxy. We are live with the NoDQ.com recap of Friday Night Smackdown for March the 25th, 2022. And yes, Wrestlemania, the most stupendous Wrestlemania of all time, is just 1 week away. Hamp Connell sent in a $9.99 super chat already. Thank you for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. A little shout out to Triple H. He says, I want to start this by saying that Triple H will definitely be missed in the ring. He is one of the greatest of all time, and he never had a, quote, shovel. He put over the ones that deserved it. Well said, Hamp. I know Triple H definitely had his critics back in the day, but when you look at the entire body of work throughout his career, Triple H, no doubt, one of the greatest, perhaps the greatest heel of all time for sure. The cerebral assassin. He reigned supreme in WWE. Had a lot of great matches too. Triple H versus The Rock, whether it was their ladder match at SummerSlam 98 or the Iron Man match. They had a ton of matches. Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the 3 Stages of Hell from No Way Out 2001. The matches with Shawn Michaels, most notably SummerSlam 2002. The matches with Batista, in particular, the Hell in a Cell match. The matches with The Undertaker, the 3 WrestleMania matches with Undertaker. Triple H had quite the body of work as an in-ring performer, and no doubt he will be missed, but hopefully he will be able to stay healthy for the sake of his family and continue to work in WWE on some capacity. Anyways, WWE did acknowledge Triple H's retirement during the show. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee talked about it very briefly during the show. With that being said, let's get to this recap. We had Brock Lesnar, the WWE champion, on the outside of the ring. Actually, he was not outside of the ring. Well, he was, but he was backstage. He was outside of Roman Reigns' locker room. That's what I meant to say. And he talked about how he paid some fines after what he did last week when he used the forklift to destroy Roman Reigns' car. Lesnar said he bought a new SUV for Roman Reigns. And he said that he is not supposed to have contact with Roman Reigns unless he is provoked. And he decided he is going to hang out in Roman Reigns' locker room. He went inside and said it's a pretty good room, but not at the level of his. He laid on the couch. He put his feet up on the end table and broke the table in the process. Roman Reigns had not yet arrived in the building. We had our first match of the evening. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jimmy Uso. A brawl broke out with all 4 guys. You had Rick Boogs out there. You had Jey Uso out there before the first commercial break. And then when we came back from the break, Shinsuke Nakamura's music was playing and we had the match officially begin. Jey Uso took out Rick Boogs on the outside of the ring. Nakamura was distracted and Jimmy Uso, I should say, hit a super kick, but Nakamura kicked out. And then Jey Uso went for the guitar. Boogs grabbed it from him and sent Jey into the ring post. Jimmy was distracted by this, so what goes around comes around. And Nakamura got the win with the Kinshasa. The challengers pick up some momentum heading into WrestleMania. Whatever, guys. Like, to me, this is just one of those standard segments. When you have a tag team match, you have the singles matches with individuals from the tag teams going at it. Next week, they'll probably do Rick Boogs versus Jey Uso unless they did that last week. I already forgot. Don't really care. I like Boogs and Nakamura going for the titles. I just don't really care much about the matchup, unfortunately. And it really doesn't help when you have the champions losing after the new challengers have already been determined. Maybe you should protect your champions a little bit. Just saying. Backstage, Brock Lesnar was helping himself to some of the snacks in Roman Reigns' locker room. And he drank some of the champagne, but spit it out. I guess Roman Reigns doesn't get very good champagne. It was announced earlier today, and it was confirmed on SmackDown that Shad Gaspard will be receiving the Warrior Award this year, which is very cool. I would say take it a step further and rename the award to the Shad Gaspard Award, because Ultimate Warrior, he had his moments as a performer, but his life outside of the ring, not exactly something to really celebrate. So I would make the case for giving Shad the name for the award moving forward. I don't think they're going to do that, but I am at least happy that he's getting recognized with the Warrior Award this year. We had Drew McIntyre backstage being interviewed, and he talked about how he enjoys making Happy Corbin's life a living hell. He is going to wipe the grin off of Corbin's face permanently. And then we had a little video package showing back when Corbin was actually entertaining for like 2 months with the broke-ass Corbin gimmick. And we saw the whole transition to Happy Corbin, and he became boring again. And backstage, Madcap Moss told a joke about Happy Corbin being part of a group called the Bald Fellas, a reference to Goodfellas, and Corbin did not find it very funny. I wonder if we're getting a little bit of a tease of a breakup between Corbin and Moss. I really hope so. Madcap Moss, they gotta drop that gimmick and fast, as far as I'm concerned. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Says they should bring back the 5-minute white boy challenge for Omos at WrestleMania. I do not think that they will be doing that. And maybe if it was a different era, they would, but they're not going to go in that kind of direction today. They're just not going to do something like that. And I hope Corbin gets repackaged. I really hope that this is the end of Happy Corbin. Drew McIntyre ends it once and for all. I'll tell you what, guys. If Drew McIntyre ends Happy Corbin, he'll be a babyface forever in my book. Like, that will be the way to make Drew McIntyre the most beloved good guy in the entire wrestling industry. We had Ridge Holland versus what was supposed to be Kofi Kingston, and as Kofi was coming out, the announcer said accompanied by Xavier Woods. And Kofi got on the mic and said that the match will not be him versus Ridge Holland, but somebody else. And that person, drum roll, big dramatic reveal, Xavier Woods. The announcer basically spoiled the return of Xavier Woods, although I think we all would have figured it out anyways when Kofi said that there was going to be a different opponent. Anyways, Xavier Woods quickly beat Ridge Holland with a roll-up. Match was like 2 minutes long. Absolutely nothing to it. And there was no indication that these guys are going to have a match at WrestleMania. So don't know where things stand with the New Day for WrestleMania and Sheamus's new faction. Butch was out there, but basically did nothing. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were in their car talking about how they were doing business all day. They spent $5,000 on side items at dinner. And since SmackDown was in Brooklyn, New York, Roman Reigns stopped by Madison Square Garden to have a little bit of a reflection of what he did to Brock Lesnar several weeks ago and warned Lesnar to get out of his locker room because if Lesnar doesn't, Reigns will crack his head open and make him bleed. So yes, once again, we have a reference to blood, a little tease of blood. Makes you think there's going to be some kind of blood at WrestleMania with all the references. Ronda Rousey came down to the ring and cut a promo. Not a very good one. Said she's taking the SmackDown title, yada, yada, yada. Called out Charlotte. Charlotte was in a studio somewhere. Said she's not going to show up in Brooklyn, New York. You know, the typical cheap heat. And Charlotte said that if she was there, she would have to do something like toss Ronda Rousey off the Brooklyn Bridge. And Rousey said that if Charlotte beats her, it will be the biggest win of her career. But if Ronda Rousey wins, which she will, it's just going to be another victory. And she has lost count of all the people she has defeated. I think my description of this was more entertaining than the actual segment. This was not good. And I felt like they were once again trying to pipe in crowd noise to make this segment seem more exciting. But man, this was flat. This did nothing whatsoever to get me hyped up for WrestleMania. And as we talked about on the No DQ review, which is available on demand at youtube.com/AaronRift No DQ on the No DQ YouTube channel, if they have to follow Steve Austin, I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble. I think it's going to be a rough crowd. They have to put Austin on last. If Charlotte and Ronda Rousey have any chance of getting a good reaction, it's got to be before Austin. Because once Austin's out there, all the energy is going to go towards Austin. Nobody can follow that. They really can't. So yes, prior to Austin, Ronda Rousey and Charlotte would have been a nice main event for night one of WrestleMania. Give the women a main event spot. Sounds good. But with Austin there, you just can't do it now. I don't think you can and have a main event that's going to be really hot otherwise. So anyways, Brock Lesnar said that Roman Reigns better hurry up and get to the arena. Otherwise, he's going to keep smashing things. And he then decided to break one of the lamps that was in the locker room. Hamp Connell sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. I appreciate the super chats tonight. Says, why won't Vince let people who can't talk be quiet? Because they got to be sports entertainers. And if you're a sports entertainer, you have to talk. You have to have layers. You can't be one-dimensional. Bottom line. But yeah, you would think that less would be more in the case of Ronda Rousey, or give her a mouthpiece. And Charlotte, depending on the night and who she's in a program with, Charlotte sometimes can do okay, but this was not one of those nights, in my opinion. Next up, we had Ricochet, the champion, I believe the Intercontinental champion. Don't crucify me if I'm wrong on that. I forget who's the champion and which title is on which show. I think he's the Intercontinental champion versus Humberto, but it ended up being Angel instead. It was changed during the commercial break. And very quick match here. Humberto provided a distraction, and Angel Garza rolled up Ricochet and picked up the win. So, stupid babyface Ricochet. He then got on the mic and challenged Humberto to a match to get a little bit of payback. Did he get his payback? No, he did not get his payback because he DDT'd Humberto on the floor and then threw Humberto back in the ring. And just prior to that, he had hit Angel Garza with a big splash coming off the top to the outside. Angel rolled under the ring, and then when Ricochet tried to get back in the ring, Angel grabbed his foot, and Ricochet got counted out. What a loser He lost twice in one night. The Intercontinental Champion lost twice in one night. What a dumbass. Who wants to cheer for that guy? And then they announced later that next week, Ricochet will face Humberto and Angel Garza in a triple threat match. He apparently demanded this. Well, all right then. He should demand it for WrestleMania so he gets a WrestleMania spot. Instead, he demanded it for next week's SmackDown. What a dumbass. Man, Ricochet, you are stupid. Like, at least tell them you want the match for WrestleMania so you can get that WrestleMania payday. God. It's embarrassing. It's really bad. This was a terrible segment. And I guess Ricochet's not on WrestleMania because he's getting his big match for the IC title on SmackDown. Okay then, dude. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. And then we had Sami Zayn interviewed backstage, 2 steps ahead of Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Knoxville is going to experience punishment never seen before in a WWE ring. I doubt that one, but we'll see. Maybe they'll do some kind of crazy stunt that puts Shane McMahon to shame. I mean, Johnny Knoxville does all the crazy stunts. Now I'm expecting it. So they better deliver something good here. And yes, this coming Monday, it's WrestleMania Raw. That's right. WrestleMania Raw this Monday. Then we have WrestleMania Smackdown, WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania Sunday, WrestleMania Backlash. Yep. Backstage. Well, not backstage. I keep thinking backstage. I keep thinking things are happening outside of the ring, inside the ring. I don't even know. I'm so confused with this whole show. Austin Theory came down to ringside and slapped the headset off of Pat McAfee and then ran away like a little bitch. McAfee chased him. Theory went into Mr. McMahon's office and Pat McAfee just stopped at the office. He should have smashed the door down and defied Vince McMahon and went after Austin Theory. Showed a little bit of ruthless aggression. Instead, he just went back to the ring, and that was our only interaction between these two. Didn't really do much. I've been enjoying the Pat McAfee stuff, but like this segment was really pointless. Did nothing to advance the storyline. Just, I guess it was done to remind people, hey, Pat McAfee is competing at WrestleMania. Whatever. We had a 4-way match between 4 of the participants in the women's tag team title match at WrestleMania. The 4 participants, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley. No intros for Shayna Baszler and Zelina Vega. Hint, hint as to how this one's going to end. Sasha Banks and Rhea Ripley went at it. And Shayna was just standing on the outside of the ring. She would get in, get thrown out again. Zelina Vega pulled Sasha to the outside. The women started brawling. All 8 of them were out there. It was a no DQ match because it's a fatal 4-way. So why even stand on the outside to begin with? Everybody might as well just brawl. Like, what's the point of them at ringside? Like, if you're going to do a no DQ match, keep the other women away from ringside. Like, it's just silly for them to all be standing out there when it's no DQ anyways. And anything goes. It's dumb. So anyways, after the break, Sasha got the bank statement on Zelina and Shayna Baszler, but Rhea Ripley broke it up. And then Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler were taken out of the equation again. And Sasha put the bank statement on Zelina, got the tap out. Tag champs lose again. You know, cut and paste. Same thing as the beginning segment with Nakamura and Jimmy Uso. You have the champions losing, going into WrestleMania. Dumb. These momentum matches, I always find really boring. So that's that. Hab Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Says, my guess about people not having matches is that Vince considers the entire week to be WrestleMania, so they will get their pay no matter what. Well, that would be a really good question to ask one of the participants. somebody who does the interviews, or if you're a fan and you get to encounter one of these superstars, ask them. Ask somebody who competes on SmackDown before WrestleMania if they get a big WrestleMania payday for being on the SmackDown. I'm really curious if they do or not. And apparently, Edge versus AJ Styles has been moved back to Sunday. WWE.com said Saturday. I don't know what the hell's going on. We're doing the predictions for WrestleMania. We're doing Saturday's predictions this Saturday, March 26th, and then the 27th on Sunday, we're doing predictions for WrestleMania Sunday. And I'm not even sure what's on night 1 or night 2 at this point because they keep changing the card around. Like, once you announce it, you got to stick with it. You got to stick to your guns and not change it. Otherwise, just wait till a week before and announce the final lineups. Like, don't announce the lineups 3 weeks in advance if you're not sure which matches you truly want to do on each night. Just saying. When you don't have a finalized card, wait. Just wait. So we had Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman arriving. And Heyman said he doesn't feel very well about this whole thing. And Reigns said it'll be fine. Dude, when has it ever been fine? Every time these scenarios play out on television, it always ends with chaos. How does Roman Reigns think in any version of WWE that this is going to be fine? See, Paul Heyman, he is truly the wise man because he knows that there's always going to be shit going down. Roman Reigns should know better. He should be like, you know what? It's not going to be fine. Although maybe Roman Reigns was trying to trick Brock Lesnar into thinking that it's open season. I don't know. So we do have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal coming up. And that will be on SmackDown. That will not be at WrestleMania. So it looks like that means we are not getting a United States Championship match at WrestleMania, since all the guys are doing the Dre. We got Damian Priest in there, Finn Balor's in there, the 24/7 jabronis, and a couple of other guys. I was asked in the chat room, who do I think will win the Dre? Darren wants to know. So I'm going to tell you, I don't have the list in front of me, but I know Damian Priest is in it. And to me, from that list, either him or Balor. It has to be one of them because they're far and away the biggest stars in the match. And Damian Priest is the tall guy, can be the big guy winning the match. So I'm going to go with Damian Priest to win the Andre Battle Royal. None of the other guys stood out at all to me. Like, I think Apollo's in there. General Aziz, he's not winning it. I'll just go ahead and go with Damian Priest. But man, oh man, I feel bad for Priest and Balor. They should be on the WrestleMania card. We had our final segment of the evening. Roman Reigns coming to the ring with Paul Heyman. Reigns is going to put Lesnar's head through the wall. And to answer Jose, I believe Omos won the Battle Royal. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I actually have no idea. I seriously do not remember who won last year's Andre Battle Royal. I know Omos teamed with AJ Styles, so maybe I'm wrong on that, but I legitimately don't remember. So chat room, help me out on that. Who won last year? Jey Uso. Oh, that's right. Jey Uso won it. And then it was very quickly forgotten about. I don't think they ever acknowledged it again, like after the first 2 weeks of him winning it. Wow, I totally forgot. I thought Omos won it, whatever. Anyways, it shows you how much the Andre the Giant Battle Royal means at this point. So backstage, it was shown that the entire locker room was destroyed. And then Lesnar had an axe, a pickaxe, and he started destroying the SUV that apparently he paid for because he destroyed the other one last week. Reigns said he has more cars. He ain't sweating it. And then Reigns said that there will be no weapons at WrestleMania. Lesnar came down to the ring through the crowd, got on the announce table. He grabbed the chair. A whole bunch of security guards were there to stop him, but they were unsuccessful because he's Brock Lesnar. He's not Wardlow. He's Brock Lesnar. He can handle 15 security guards. Lesnar beat the shit out of all the security guards. The Usos helped Roman Reigns get out of the ring and get to safety. And then Reigns backstage said that at WrestleMania, Lesnar will acknowledge him as the undisputed Universal Champion, blah, blah, blah. And that was SmackDown, everybody. Let me get to this super chat here real quick from B-Man. B-Man sent in $5. Thank you for that. Says, do you think Paul Heyman will turn on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? I don't think so. I suppose it's always a possibility. It's a double cross. You never know. But Heyman works well with Roman Reigns, and Lesnar is doing great on his own. So there's really no need to reunite Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. But I would not rule anything out. I would not bet that it's going to happen, though. And the build-up for this show was not great. To me, this SmackDown was very by the numbers, run-of-the-mill. We got a filler show until WrestleMania. Everything just kind of stood in place. Stuff we've already seen before. Rehashing. It just wasn't a very exciting show, in my opinion. Like, it really dragged. I'm going C-. Not a very good SmackDown. Even the Roman Reigns stuff, which is usually great, just kind of felt like more of the same that we've already seen. They're like, well, you know what? We don't want to advance the storyline anymore. It's where it's at. We just got to keep rehashing the stuff we've been doing for weeks. They did the big angle at Madison Square Garden, and now they got like 4 weeks, and they just got to kind of stay in the same level that they've been at for the past several weeks. I mean, Brock Lesnar is entertaining, but it just kind of felt like the same old thing. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says, best version of Brock Lesnar. I love it. He's having fun. And yeah, it's entertaining, but I mean, it was more or less stuff we've already seen with those guys, which is why I really wasn't feeling it too much. Like, I wanted to see something taken to the next level, and they didn't really do it. So I would not recommend this SmackDown. Like, I think it was kind of skippable. And yeah, letter grade wise, C- for it. But we do have WrestleMania predictions coming up. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern will be WrestleMania Saturday. And then Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern will be the WrestleMania Sunday predictions. And we're going to try to go with what's listed on WWE.com. Might not end up being the proper lineup, but we're going to do our best. Maybe we'll do some predictions for the Dre, although I really don't care about the Dre. I have little to no interest in it, but we'll have to do what we can with it and talk about it at least somewhat. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to everybody that's been watching every night of the live streaming streak so far. As I said, we got 13 straight nights of streaming. This is night number 3, night number 4 coming up, and then night number 5 with the WrestleMania predictions. I hope you guys will stop by for that. If not, check it out on demand. Enjoy your weekend. Take care, everybody. 1 weekend to go until WrestleMania weekend. Stay safe, everybody. And remember, say yes to NoDQ.com. See you next time.